Good evening and welcome to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen meeting. It is January 4th, 2024, and it is 7 p.m. Call this meeting to order. We do have a quorum. If everyone would please rise for the prayer and the pledge.
Bow your heads. Our Father in heaven, thank you for bringing in the new year for this community and for our nation. Father God, I pray for our first responders, our EMS, our police, and our fire department. Please bless our community and bring unity for the next year. All things I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to my
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First, we have approved minutes from the December 5th, 2023 regular meeting. A motion to approve or deny?
Make a motion to approve.
A motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion passes. Moving on to department reports. Police Department. Deputy Chief Hatcher.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Aldermen, and Happy New Year. You have the reports in front of you. Everything is moving along. We have some areas where we still have some concerns that we want to try and improve on as we continue to try and get our staffing up, which we're really excited about this year. The launch of Dayforce has been incredible from what I was told as far as the amount of applicants in a short period of time, and we're really, really excited, which is also one of the things that's on the consent agenda for this evening for our additional assistance needs.
Can you speak to the sharp increase with shoplifting?
So, two different things. One, obviously, the state has increased the level of a felony from $400 to $1,000 for merchandise and for property. So there's been an obvious elevation in the amount of shoplifting and thefts, not just in Laverne, that's nationwide. They have a loss prevention person over at Walmart that is extremely aggressive and has been apprehending just about anybody and everybody they can get their hands on. And in doing so, they obviously get a small bonus that goes along with each one of those apprehensions. So we from what I understand, Captain Call says we tried to recruit, but she was making more money than we could offer at the time. So, with that being said, she's going to be moving on to another department or another job of some kind in the next few weeks. But so I would imagine that may or may not lower down a little bit.
Okay, that answered my other question, which was, is this centered around one business? And so,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
How are y'all dealing with the shorthanded of staff? I know we lost one, and a few of them has moved on and retired. How y'all dealing with the shorthanded of the police staff?
Well, we're managing as best we can, Alderman Waldron. Some days are better than others because we're allowed the opportunity to have some overlap and some additional resources. But we're still answering all of our calls for service, and we're still providing the best service that we can possibly do under the conditions that we're in. Yes, sir.
And I believe you have a large number of applicants you're going through right now?
That is correct. It's a very, very large number. As a matter of fact, we had to actually close the posting so that we could sort through all of them, and we're really excited about the opportunities of that.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Moving on to the fire department, Chief Beasley.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Alderman. I trust that you have had an opportunity to review our report for last month and for the 2023 end of the year. You will see that there is a significant uptick in structure fires. That's almost double, just under double that. Trying to do a little bit of homework, a little bit of research into that. We believe that has changed due to some different documentation on our part. So what classifies as a structure fire may or may not have changed this year in our documentation. So we're trying to determine that to see exactly where that's at. Everything else seems to be within 5 to 10 runs or responses as we were this time last year. So we've had a a 20-run increase, which is significantly different than the last 2 or 3 years, which was a 20% increase. So we're pretty happy about that. Any questions?
Could you remind the community about the form online to fill out for your home?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up. Community Connect is a application or a software that is on the City of Laverne's Fire Department webpage. You click on that link, that leads you to the Community Connect. You enter your name, your address, contact information, the number of people that live there, your pets. You may list your gas shutoffs, electricity shutoffs. If you have a meeting place, if you evacuate your house to an emergency, and you're gonna meet by the tree, and we know that's where everybody should gather, all that can be listed there. It will also notify you in case you're not home and we respond to your house. It sends you a message or calls you and lets you know that we're responding to your home. And those are significant increases in our responses. Our firefighters en route can review that information. And I've had some question about the security of it because everybody's concerned about their personal information, and that has the same security measures as your banking software, your online banking software. So we feel very secure with that application.
I filled one out this past week. It's very direct. Only took me about 5 minutes at the most.
Absolutely.
So please make sure you do so.
I always say it's kind of like my generation had a window sticker that said Tot Finder. And so firefighters would arrive on the scene and they would see a window sticker and you would know a child was behind that window. And obviously we don't want that in today's environment. So this is a very secure way of providing information to firefighters.
Oh, just a reminder, it does ask about fur babies, too.
And oh, absolutely. I mean, you can
You
upload your
didn't
pictures,
say anything about fur babies, and so,
but you can upload pictures of that. And so, I mean, it's a pretty powerful piece of software that's zero cost to the citizens.
Have you had a pretty good response?
It comes and goes. You know, I think when questions like this are brought up in a public forum, or we have a public service announcements, or one of y'all share on your social media sites, we definitely see an uptick. And then, you know, as we not talk about it, it kind of goes away and then it comes back up. So anytime that you have an opportunity in your forums, we ask that you share about it. We put it out at all the public events, 4th of July, Old Timers Festival, or the Fall Festival, all that. So we try our best to put that out. We spoke about it last night in a News Channel 2 interview, so.
Thank you, sir.
They, same thing with police department. Y'all had a, application, a lot of applications. I know y'all been running a little bit short on man. You still got 13 on duty each shift, right?
Yes, sir, we have a minimum of 13, no matter what. That's our minimum staffing, and we'll accomplish that through overtime, or I even rode a fire truck, rode on Christmas Eve just to accommodate that staffing.
You had a change in the application people applying for?
Right now, we are 9 firefighters short, actually 10, one off lieutenant's position, and we have 9 applicants that have job offers that are going through the background checks. So if we're fortunate and these people do get through the backgrounds and all the physicals, we will be one short of fully staffed going into a class in February and graduating in May.
Good deal. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Ronnie. Parks and Recreation Department, Mr. David McGowan.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Board, thank you. You guys have the parks numbers for the month. 92 help desk tickets, 607 man-hours devoted to those. Upcoming events, January 15th will be our Martin Luther King Jr. celebration. That'll take place here in the Boardroom, 10 a.m. February 3rd, that's looking ahead a little bit, father-daughter dance. That will actually be at Vergne Middle School off of Stones River Road. That will be from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. in their gymnasium. You see our past events, December 2nd, that was our scheduled day for Parade of Lights. We had to postpone that. We had the tree lighting ceremony on the 8th of December. Past senior events, the Christmas party was December 14th at the Multipurpose Building, and upcoming meetings on January the 2nd, we have 3 Senior Center Advisory, which that'll take place here at City Hall for the first time at 5 p.m., and then Park and Rec at 6, and beautification at 7. Any questions?
David, first question for the father-daughter dance. Of course, that's open to all combinations. for if a young lady doesn't have a father or whatnot. Is that
Yes, sir.
correct?
Open to everyone, everybody's welcome, we're not turning anybody away. Last year, we were kind of caught off guard because the numbers had been down, so we outgrew the multipurpose building again, so we moved it back to the school. Not turning anybody away, sons, fathers, daughters, aunts, sisters, anybody's welcome.
And then are we advertising the same way that we did last year to drive?
Yeah, and I think what
turnout?
helped us last year was all you guys pushing it out too on your pages. Like the fire chief said, that helps tremendously. We were overwhelmed by the turnout. And at that point, it was halfway through. Alderman Hobbs, you came, your family came. And when you guys showed up, the line was back to the softball field.
It was.
So we're going to try to avoid that this year. We're looking for a good event. I think it's going to be a good turnout, so we continue to, hopefully that one will grow.
And then for Martin Luther King Day Jr. Celebration, who are our guest speakers?
Pastor Joe Randall, he'll be here. He'll lead the prayer. He'll also say, he'll give a speech. He does a little Bible study, holds a weekly Bible study at the senior center. And then Commissioner Hope Oliver will be our second guest speaker that day. That'll take place here in the boardroom. Light refreshments will be served. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you. Moving on to the library, Ms. Donna Bebout.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Aldermen, good evening and Happy New Year. 2024 is going to be a great year. We can feel it in our bones. Our attendance and our circulation was down just a little bit, but we take that into account that our library was closed for a week for maintenance and for also getting our book sale set up, which our book sale started on January the 2nd. Started off with a boom. We're doing great. It will go from now until all items are sold. And we have adult, YA, children's books, DVDs, CDs, and we also pulled out a couple of containers of old summer reading t-shirts. A lot of people have said that they would love to have some of the t-shirts that the staff have worn over the years. Not actually the staff wore, but some that we had left over. You know, it's not like the Elvis
Few
thing.
hand-me-downs.
Right. And we're selling those for $2 each, and those have really moved well. The library will be closed on January 15th in observance of Martin Luther King Jr. Day. The library board will meet Monday, January 8th at 5 p.m. here at the City Hall Boardroom. And I wanted to go over a couple of the Teens and Tweens programs that are coming up. At the very bottom of the page, you will see Saturday, January the 20th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. The Teens and the Tweens, which go from 10 years old until 17 years old, will be creating a Chinese New Year dragon. And this dragon is going to be a super awesome decoration in the library in the YA area. It is made from cereal boxes, paper plates, pool noodles, and all sorts of wonderful sparkly gems. This year is the year of the dragon. So we're excited about the teens and tweens coming together to make that great creation. On Tuesday, January 30th at 5 p.m., the teens and tweens will be doing something similar to an escape room at the library, except they're not really going to be escaping anywhere. It's going to be a fun-filled activity that will take them on a journey through the main library. And they have to be prepared to solve challenging puzzles, uncover clues, and crack codes. They're going to be like Sherlock Holmes. So we're really excited about that. We have buttons made that when they get that code cracked, they can proudly wear their Sherlock Holmes button. So we're excited. We hope to have a lot of our teens and tweens out. Most of the activities that we do separate the younger from the older. So the teens would be your 13 to 17-year-olds, and your tweens are those 10 to 12-year-olds that don't usually fit in anywhere, and so we have a place for them now. So we're excited. Then I wanted to show one great thing. Miss Mary, our wonderful crafting lady, and that does a little bit of everything at the library, she does strings and things. It's the adult craft time, and it's winter luminaries. It's a mason jar, has a little light inside of it. It's coated. It's going to have sparkles, which Aldermen know. I know that your eyes lit up when I said sparkles before. And they're going to decorate it with some jute and some leaves. It's going to be beautiful. So would love to have any adult who is 18 or over to come and join us for that, but we do need you to sign up in advance at the circulation desk. And of course, you can find all of our great programs, which you can see January is pretty full. And thank you to all of our mayor and aldermen and other members who do share this when we share it on Facebook. Story times, the regular story times start back on Monday, January the 8th. Any questions?
How's the kiosk doing? I know it's, should be very popular.
It is very popular. And during the book sale, we had several people who come in for the book sale that are not patrons of our library, and they will see it over to the side, and they say, "Oh, we didn't know that you had that. We'll be sure to come back and use it." It gets a lot of use.
A lot of people don't probably, the kiosk throws them off. That's where you can renew your driver's license at the library. You can renew it. You can only renew it, I think.
You can renew it. You can change your address. There are several different things that you can do. You just cannot get the star there, but you can renew your license.
It's so convenient there than having to drive to Nashville, Murfreesboro, or Smyrna.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Donna. You do a great job.
Thank you.
Ms. Donna, you had one other event this past month.
Yes.
And it was in partnership with the police and the fire department. Can you speak to that?
The last minute toy store?
Yes, ma'am.
That was amazing. The library was very proud to be the home base for the parents to come and choose some things for their children. And very well put together. Amber led us off with that, and then so many volunteers jumped in, helped out. Santa came, and then myself and Miss Julie from the police department, we were the ones that got to corral the children and keep them up front, coloring and feeding them donuts and juice. And it was just a lot of fun, but it was great. I mean, there were so many items for the parents to choose from.
I can't remember, and I don't know, Deputy Chief, if you remember the number, how many families overall were?
It
was over 100, I know.
It was 43 families
43
with
families.
144 children.
44 children, okay. Okay, well, good job by everybody who was involved.
Yes, it was fabulous.
Thank you, ma'am. Finance Department, Ms. Tanya Williams.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Alderman. You have your financial report from November. This is November, and I just wanted to let you know, property tax collections for December and the 1st of January are already 3.7 million. So some of those numbers will start to look a little better once we get that revenue in. Our sales tax was $923,000 above budget and $375,000 above our prior year. You'll see the rest of our balances. The second page is our balances in our bank accounts and then our comparisons to prior year. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And then we have the water treatment plant, Mr. Danny Campbell.
Sparkles.
He thought she said sprinkles.
Sorry about this.
Put him back behind.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Board. I hope you've had the opportunity to review the water treatment plant's report for December. Any questions?
Can you take us through the complaints?
Oh, yeah, I wasn't expecting that one bit. We had four complaints this month, one for high pressure, two for low pressure, and one for cloudy water. For the high pressure complaint, we advised the customer to contact a plumber to adjust their pressure reducing valve if it was too much for them. We didn't get a pressure reading for that, but you know, that's kind of subjective. If it's too much for you, then gonna want to change that. For the two low pressure, one was at an establishment or a home that didn't have a hose bib on the outside, so we couldn't check the pressure. We advised them to contact our maintenance department to see if they could move any further, get a better look, whether it's inside the facility or their home, excuse me. For the second, it was an issue with 2 leaks that we had going on in the system at that time. So they were affected by that. It was actually something that came through. I wanted to say, he's not here, or actually is, yes, Glenn. It came through the city database, and Glenn sent me over the complaint. I was able to contact the customer and see what was going on. I advised them to contact me if they were continuing to have the issue the next morning, because it was a weekend. I did not receive any phone call, but a couple days later, they sent another post or another comment stating that everything was back to normal. So, however, that's, I think, one of the first times or a couple times that's gone through, but it was very successful. I appreciate your help with that, so that we could get that customer taken care of. The last was a cloudy water complaint. This was from due to air in the line due to the 24-inch main project. So it's a customer that's dealt with issues previously and is aware. We asked, they did have their hydrant flushed. We asked if they wanted that flushed again to see if we could get rid of any more air. They said, no, we understand what's going on, but if you can flush it when the project's done, we'd appreciate that. And I said, obviously, we would do that for them. So once this is done, hopefully sooner than later, we'll get that taken care of for this customer.
And where do they call if they have any issues?
No, I won't pick
Not
it.
Miss Donna's number.
615-793-6536, option 2, and that gets you to the water treatment plant.
Any questions?
I noticed that the lake is pretty much at winter pool right now. How does that affect the water treatment operations?
Thankfully, we haven't seen anything different from the previous months or been affected by the
Some of
level.
the people that constantly call in, like for water problems, do y'all advise them about getting a water filter?
We, to be honest, have not had issues with taste or odor or anything like that. The main complaints are low pressure is what we deal with. So that's typically their pressure reducing valve.
Is it any part of town that's worse than the others?
Not that I've noticed. I think again it's with the low pressure, because it's typically their device on their property. It's isolated to their location.
Thank you, Danny. Moving on to old business. Second reading ordinance 2023-28, an ordinance to amend Title II, Chapter 6, Section 2-601 of the Laverne Municipal Code regarding the membership of the Local Emergency Planning Committee. This received a favorable recommendation from the LEPC on November 13th, 2023. Do need a motion to approve or deny?
I make a motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Have a second. Alderman Waldron.
Aye.
Alderwoman Hobbs.
Aye.
Alderwoman Haas.
Aye.
Vice Mayor No.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to the consent agenda. I need a motion to approve or deny.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Moving on to new business. First reading ordinance 2024-01, an ordinance to amend the City of Laverne zoning ordinance by changing the official zoning map for tax map 18P, Group C, parcels 5 and 5.01, consisting of approximately 0.83 acres, located at 512 and 516 Old Nashville Highway, from an R3 high-density residential zoning district to a C3 neighborhood service commercial zoning district. This received a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission on November 28th, 2023. Need a motion to approve or deny?
I make a motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
I have a second from Alderman Waldron. Alderman Waldron.
Aye.
Alderwoman Hobbs.
Aye.
Alderwoman Haas.
Aye.
Vice Mayor No.
No.
I vote aye. Motion passes. We're going to go on to number 7, first reading ordinance 2024-02, an ordinance to amend Article 4, Section 4.010 of the Laverne zoning ordinance regarding off-street parking requirements. This received a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission on November 28th, 2023. Need a motion to approve or deny?
I make a motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
A second.
Alderman Waldron. Alderwoman Hobbs.
Aye.
Alderman Haas.
Aye.
Vice Mayor No.
Aye.
Motion passes. Resolution 2024-01, a resolution to accept Phase 1 of the Carruthers Crossing subdivision. This received a favorable recommendation from the Planning Commission on November 28th, 2023. Need a motion to approve or deny?
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a second. Alderman Waldron.
Aye.
Alderwoman Hobbs.
No.
Alderwoman Haas.
Aye.
Vice Mayor No.
Aye.
I vote aye. Resolution passes. Then number 9, a resolution 2024-02, a resolution to amend the employee handbook. I'll make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Alderman Waldron.
Aye.
Alderwoman Hobbs.
Aye.
Alderman Haas.
Aye.
Vice Mayor No.
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion passes. Next, we have the appoint or remove board and committee members. First, we have the Historical Preservation Advisory Committee. We've got one term vacant and one applicant who is the current member. And I'll reappoint Rhonda Humphrey to the Historical Preservation Advisory Committee. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. And then next we have the library board. We've got 2 terms expiring, and we've got one applicant. I'll make a motion to appoint Dr. Martin Burgess back to that board. Is there a second?
Second.
Alderman Waldron.
Aye.
Alderwoman Hobbs.
Aye.
Alderwoman Haas.
Aye.
Vice Mayor No.
Aye.
That motion passes. Next, we have the Local Emergency Planning Committee. We've got 2 terms that are vacant, 4 terms that are expired. And so the 4 terms that have expired, I will reappoint, which is Michael Dietz, Glenn Green, Doug Oakley, and Tanya Williams. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Last item, motion to approve or reject a request for proposal for the Senior Center Services Provider. Need a motion to approve or deny?
Motion to approve.
Second for discussion.
Have a motion to approve and a second. Go ahead and open it up for discussion.
Kind of talked at length in the workshop about this, and I done a little studying. It was my understanding in the workshop, the 54 company was gonna do it cheaper than what Laverne's paying now. Laverne is paying $174,000 out of city pocketbook. The CNRC is putting in $28,000. and the Rutherford County's putting in $28,800 for the CNRC, $46,200 for the Rutherford County, and the 54, what is it called, 54?
54.
Just 54. They're gonna do it for 220. So actually, it's gonna cost Laverne $46,000 more if I'm figuring right. Because with a 54, they won't get the 46.2 from Rutherford County, or they won't get the 28.8 from the GMSRC.
They are still eligible for those funds. When you look at that, you're taking those funds into our budget also. Those funds aren't guaranteed to us every year either. They have to be recertified every year. Several years ago when COVID hit, the amount of money the center got from the county, I believe, was lowered a certain amount. And then as they built that fund back up, we've gotten more money. So even those funds that that we get from GNRC or that we get from the county, those aren't guaranteed funds from us either.
Right.
So if we didn't have those funds, that additional funding would have to come out of our general
Yeah, right
fund budget.
now, the city is putting out 174, and what we're gonna pay the 54 is 220. And another question I have, are they gonna still use the building down there?
Yes, sir. That will remain the city's
What
building.
about the insurance and liability on the building?
They'll carry insurance, and we'll carry insurance. There will be an additional shirt on their policy, and there would be an additional shirt on our policy.
What are we gonna do about the vehicles?
The van, which is pretty new, we could probably refilter it. We could probably use it at parks for our event coordinator. The bus, it's not ADA compliant, and maybe at some point we decide to donate that to 54 to use for trips. That would obviously have to come back before this board.
Yeah, my understanding, it was gonna be cheaper before we turn it over, but I found out it's gonna cost us.
Yeah, I haven't put pencil to paper as far as what it's gonna cost, but I do know the GNRC funds and the county funds that you're referring to, that organization is still gonna be eligible for those. And even if we continue to operate it and say next year we didn't get the 40-some-odd thousand from the county, we take that 46 or 48 out that we're getting from the county, it's still gonna take that 48 to operate that building down there. So even if we back those funds out of there, the city's still on the hook for that money.
I'm not comfortable on really voting on it. We had such a short Tuesday to today, we just had I wasn't able to do a whole lot of looking in and figuring within one day turnaround.
Well, and Alderman Waldron, with all due respect, those figures aren't gonna change if we put this off another month. And I can sit up here and honestly tell you, the park staff is stretched thin. We went from having the doors open 4 days a week to 3 now because our staff is.
This is just information I found out within one day. You know, I'd be comfortable if we had more time to crunch some numbers. You know, it's,
I mean, I think the motion is to just approve or reject a proposal. So, I mean, I'm interested to hear a little bit more about the proposal, learn a little bit more about the proposal, but we got to get there first, right? So.
Well, that's their proposal. Their full proposal is in y'all's packet. You have that
from this week.
information. What we need is, if we want to move forward with,
Entering
That
into
doesn't
attorney
obligate us
drafting
to
a
a contract
contract.
with them.
No,
my
this would allow us to
understanding,
form
workshop is
that
gonna cost
contract.
cheaper. Now I'm figuring, I found out it's cost us 46,000 more.
Well, we don't know the exact amount at this point that it's going to cost because we have not formed that contract yet. These numbers are based off of a 1 year. We could go into a longer or shorter period timeframe contract, because if you just go off of our budget year, if we went into a contract just to take us to the budget year, we would do a contract for 2 to 3 months and then have to turn around and immediately do another one. Whereas if we do a 17-month contract, you know, that would take us through our next budget year. But part of that contract and putting that together is figuring out those prices. And then all of that still comes back before this board. So whereas you were saying you would like more time, well, you're going to have more time because this just approves the city to go ahead and get that contract with 54 together. It still has to come back before this board for approval. This isn't an automatic approval for any of that, so.
It's just too many ifs out there for me, personally, just too many ifs for me.
But you would see that before you vote on the contract. Any other discussion?
And one of the things that dollars and cents is definitely a part of it, but David is bringing up one of the big things that we really gotta think about it. His staff is getting thin. They've got another part of this city to operate. They can't just operate the senior center, and that kind of bothers me because, you know, they're down to 3 days because his employees are trying to do 2 jobs, and we've got to think about people to, you know, it's easy for us to sit up here and say, hey, let's do this, but the bottom line is, if you don't have people to run it and operate it, then the only other alternative is to shut it down until we get those people in place. I'm not saying this is a perfect situation. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying, the dollars and cents, along with Evan and them doing the contracts, making sure everything is fine, it's got to come back to us. But, you know, I heard some people say to me the other day, well, hire some people that can do it. Man, that'd be awesome.
That's a challenge.
It's like telling Chief over here, hey, hire some people and get some people working.
Let me
Okay.
interject real quick. When you say hire some people to do it, in theory, that sounds great. We're just gonna pull anybody off the street and stick them in there. That environment will not handle that. That's why we are struggling as it is. The other lady that was up here the other night that didn't get to speak a lot, Miss Lisa Maddox, she has 17 years of social services under her belt. That's gonna come into play. Alderman Waldron, you're bringing up the financial part of it. I can't tell you exactly what it's gonna cost. I know if we were to lose any of those grants, this board would be responsible for finding that money. Same as them. That's what it's gonna cost them to run it. That's what it cost us to run it. If we were to back out the 46 grand from the county, that money's gotta come from somewhere. So they are still eligible for those. Now, what we didn't talk about, which that would probably be where the attorneys would come in, is that figure they proposed. If they do get awarded those grants, does that funds get backed out of that? I don't know. That never came up. What they gave you guys was a flat figure as what it would cost them to manage our senior center. That wasn't taken into account. They're getting grant money because that's what they need from the city. So if they get 46 grand, I would just assume in my mind, we could back that 46 out.
It's just a clawback provision that would be in the contract, so.
That's just something we just don't know.
Well, and another thing, our members are not getting charged a fee, which we talked about the other night, but that still gives them the opportunity to go to any 50 Forward Senior Center. Even though they don't pay a membership in Laverne, they are a member of Laverne. If they want to go to an event at Donaldson, they're more than welcome to attend as a member.
So with that, we have a motion and a second to move forward with basically the forming of the contract. That would come back before this board. Alderman Waldron.
No.
Alderwoman Hobbs.
Aye.
Alderwoman Haas.
Aye.
Vice Mayor No.
Aye.
I vote aye. Motion passes. Moving on to Mayor and Alderman comments. Alderman Waldron.
Again, I hope everybody had a safe, happy Christmas and New Year. Always remember the elderly. Check on the elderly, and make sure the pets has got ample shelter and fresh water. And remember and keep in our prayers the Ingalls family. They had a death in their family, and two of their family members used to work for Laverne. Just keep the Ingalls family in our prayers. Thank you.
Alderwoman Hobbs.
Yeah, just kind of referring back to the senior center, I just want to say, this board, just to speak frankly, this board goes through, a lot of money goes through our hands, our responsibility. And I think ultimately, talking about $46,000, we owe it to our community. This is a community service. We owe it to our seniors. I think it's a good thing. We need qualified individuals in there to help them cognitively, physically, socially. We owe it to our community. I mean, 46,000, we're nickel and diamond here. Like we owe it to those folks. That's just my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderwoman Haas.
Just to kind of add on to what Alderwoman Hobbs has said, I have volunteered at the senior center for many years, and to find qualified people to be there on a daily basis would be quite a chore. And once again, the $46,000, we ask for it from GNRC and from Rutherford County. So, and like David said, 54 would be eligible to ask for those funds also. Our seniors are the backbone of our community. They're our history. And we owe it to them to have a place that they can go, and then to have an organization that can provide activities for them to go outside the center for field trips, to go to restaurants and do other things. And, it's one day the community will be a senior citizen. So, and once again, just Happy New Year.
Vice Mayor No.
Only thing I got is I want to encourage everybody to go out and get your red Stanley Cup.
That it, sir?
That's it.
Okay. We've got a few items. I just want to remind everyone about the special census that's been going on and will be going on for the next quarter. Please make sure that you participate in the census. We've got people going door to door. We'll have more over the next couple of months going door to door. And this helps our city receive the proper amount of funding from the state with the state shared revenue. So we need your help with this. So please participate. You can do it online. We've got paper forms. Please, please, please participate. I do want to ask everyone to continue to keep the Joyner family in your prayers. They suffered a major loss, both for our community and for their family. So ask that you please keep them in your family. Do want to thank the Rutherford County Chamber of Commerce. I was invited up yesterday for the Leadership Rutherford Mayor's Panel, where we talk about the inner workings of local government to each of their classes. So Mayor Reed, Mayor McFarland, Mayor Lehman, Mayor Carr, and I were all up there. We have a good time, and we tie more people into what local government is and how it works. So that was a great little event. The last thing, and this is kind of just to remind both the board and all of our city staff, is a lot of times we think we're in the service industry with what we do here. We service the residents, but quite frankly, we're in the quality of life business. And that's improving the quality of life for our residents, whether it's making sure they're not driving into work with a bumpy road from potholes that Doug loves so much when I call them in, or that they don't have too much chlorine in their water, that they don't have people speeding or breaking into their homes, that there's not a forest fire raging through the city, and that they can reach out whenever they have any issues that affect their quality of life. That's the business that we're in, is to improve the quality of life for all of our residents. And so as we're starting off 2024, I wanted to remind everyone of that, because we all get caught up in what we do, what we're trying to accomplish, our goals, and that kind of helps center us back to what we're doing, whether it's our residents or our employees as well. So with that, I call this meeting adjourned.